Ma? Now I told you, when you are doing database testing, developers will give you the design document. No? Developers have to give you the database design document. They'll give database model diagrams, right? Developer have to give you some document, right? Otherwise, how do we know that what tables are there, what table has what columns are there? We don't know. Yes or not?
Yeah.
Yes,
Emma, what tables are there, what table has what columns? We don't know, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So developer have to give you this design document, right? Saying that these are the tables and these are the columns in the tables and this is the relation between the tables. Developer have given this document.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when you are doing the database testing, you have to see the database table also. A database table also has all the columns. Next, next we have to check the data type, right? Data type of the columns. Okay. Now required primary keys, foreign keys in the table, right? So next we also have to data types of the columns, the length, right? The size. I mean to say the length of the what do you call characters, right? In the column. Yeah, how many characters of 5 character length, 10 character length, 20 character length, like that. Required primary keys and foreign keys on the table. And also if any check constraints. This is all what we have to check. So how do you check these things? See, selecting data from table you can do, right? Select star from table name. You will display the select star from table name will display the records in the table, right?
Yeah.
But how do you check that database structure? Sir, whether the developer, how many columns they have created, what is the data type of the column? Okay, what column has primary key, what column has foreign key, and what column whether they created a constraint or not? How do you check that?
Database design.
Okay. Now database design, no, you can't do like that. So if you go to the database in Microsoft SQL Server, right? In SQL Server, you write one query called sp_help. sp_help, you give table name. You run this query. What is the query you run? sp_help, you give the table name. Run this SQL query. This is SQL query. Hello.
okay,
Yes, sir.
What is the SQL query you run? Earlier you were writing, right? Select star from table name like that.
Yes, sir.
Like that, you write this SQL query, sp_help table name. You run this query. Now this will display the table structure. This will display the table structure or schema. It will display.
Okay.
Schema means it will display all the columns, data types, what are the primary keys, foreign keys. Yeah, check constraints, all it will display. It won't display the records in the table. It will display the table structure.
Yeah. Okay.
You understood, right? Will it display any records in the table, data in the table?
Structure of the table.
No, it won't display the records in the table. It will display the structure of the table. Yeah, like that. Oracle or MySQL, like that. You write a query called describe, DESC, describe table name.
Yeah.
Okay, so this will display the table structure.
Yeah.
Okay, now here you see, as per the documentation, document says that table should have 10 columns. Now in the table also there are 10 columns or not? No, sir, when I see the describe the table, it's showing me 9 columns, but design document shows that there are 10 columns. That means developer forgot to create one column, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now in the database, in the design documents, it shows that it's a varchar of 20, but here it is showing me varchar of 15 only. It's a mistaken, right? The document shows that the length of the column should be 20 characters, but in the table it shows me only 15 character length.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now in the documentation shows that this column should be created as unique key. But in the database design, that column, there is no unique key. That means developer forgot to create, right?
Yes, sir.
Understand? So how do you know the table structure? Like that you can run, right? Describe table name or sp_help table name, like that based on the database, you give some command which will display the structure of the table, right? Now you can verify.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
now here you have to compare not
Okay,
with
sir.
front end. You have to compare with the documentation, right? So compare the structure of the table as per the database design document, right? Okay, you compare, as per the design document. What the design document says. Design document is nothing but model diagrams only, right? Model or schema diagrams. Okay, right? As per the diagrams. Oh, database is also created or not. Exactly as per the design document. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So like that you have to verify. So what is that, ma? So database schema, right? A database schema is nothing but a formal definition how the data is going to be organized inside the database. Ma, take the table say kada, we have to say primary keys, foreign keys, field names. Okay, how many characters should show, field constraints, right? Okay, what are the pattern, right? What format it will show, like that you can verify. And how do you run the query here? Describe table name gadama to validate the schema. Okay, describe table name you can do. But suppose, sir, my system has, my system has, let's say, 100 tables are there. That means you have to manually write, describe first table name, describe second table name, describe third table name. Like that for 100 tables, you have to see one by one, right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
If there are 100 tables in the database, now you need to write this type of describe table name, and you have to check like this manually for 100 tables. It
Yes,
will
sir.
take little bit time, right?
Yes, sir.
And also somewhere when you observe through your eyes, something you may miss also. Yes or not? So here you can use some tools for checking the table structure, right? Here you can use tools like, there's some schema crawler or ER builder or schema spy, like this type of tools are there for checking the database schemas. Okay, right? Yeah, if
Okay.
you use this type of tools, I think you can map this to you give your database, what you call, connection string, your database connection string and all that. This will fetch all the tables structure and display in the image format, right? Which table has primary key and map into which foreign key in another table, and what is the length of the columns. It will display all the, in a graphical way for us, so that it's easy for us to review, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this type of tools we can use for checking the schemas if you have. Okay, right. The next one, ma? Yeah, now right, triggers and procedures we discussed yesterday. Yeah, this one, procedures, and before one, triggers. Yeah. What is a procedure and trigger, ma? Yeah, we know, right? Procedure is also like a, what you call is like a method in Java class.
Method in Java
like
program.
method in Java class.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you run the procedure, what will happen, ma? Some transaction will happen, right? Okay, if you take for example, I told you, but a DMart, if you take, sir, in one of the store, in one of the store, whatever transactions they did at the end of the night, evening, after the, after the business hours, whatever sales done in the store, whatever sales done in the store, all this data will update in the main server.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All the sales done in the store, all this data is updated in the main server, ma, at the end of the day.
Yes, sir.
After the business hours, ma. And what they have done there in the database system, they designed a procedure.
Yes, sir.
In the database system, they designed a procedure, and the procedure is scheduled, right, to run every day night at somewhere around 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock or sometime. Now all the sales done for the day will be updated in the main database server.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so there they have written a procedure. So procedure has been already scheduled to run every day, some particular late night. Okay. But when you are doing testing, what you can do? You need to do some transaction. Okay, you need to, for testing purpose, you have to do some dummy transaction. And you can also run the procedure manually, right? And see the
Yes.
data is transferred from one database to the main database system. It is transferred and it is updated or not, like that. You can check, right?
Yes, sir.
Now that means you are, see, are you running the for testing purpose? Are you running now at this point of time, are you running through UI or you are manually running it?
Manually, sir.
Manually, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That means you should have a knowledge on the database. You should know how to run the procedure. You should know what is the procedure name.
Yes, sir.
That's what you call white box testing, right? With the knowledge of seeing the coding and testing is called white box.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So that means you are not doing through front end. Front end lo I did something and procedure I've executed and that comes under as part of black box. But you are directly going to the database, you are executing the procedure or trigger, you are doing something, right? Okay,
Yes.
and same thing here also, procedure or something you are executing manually. That's what you call white box, right? But
Yes, sir.
you have to do like that. Sometimes you have to execute manually procedure also. Don't time, I'll tell you, for some situations, I'll tell you some situation. Sir, there is one very critical bug is found. Listen carefully. One critical bug is found and a developer have fixed that bug. Developer have fixed that bug. Okay, and it's very high priority. Immediately we have to fix and we have to test it and we have to give it to the client because client is waiting. Okay, there's some production issue and client is waiting. So after developer fix the bug, right? If I'm doing testing, okay. Now this testing is related to, sir, when I do some transaction in one system, this data is not updating on the main database. That was the bug. What was the bug? When I do transaction in one of the database system, this data is not updating in the main database system.
Okay.
Okay, that is a bug, ma. So now after investigating, developer found where is the problem and they resolved it.
Okay.
Now when we are doing testing, we have to immediately test it, right? And our client is waiting.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Sir.
what I have to do, I did some transaction in the one of the system, but to update this data in the database system, actually they have scheduled a procedure to run at late night.
Yes, sir.
But are we going to wait for today night to see this data will update here?
No.
No, we have to manually run the procedure and see, right? Oh, whatever I did here, it is reflecting or not here.
Yes, sir.
Let it run as per schedule today night. That's okay. But we can also manually run the procedure and see, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, this data is updated here or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there you should have some knowledge, right, in the database also to see what procedure they have written, what tables they are taking, where it is updating. You should have some knowledge, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
That comes under as part of white box.
Yes, sir.
Instead of that, no, sir, in the front end I did something. I am not going to database and run the procedure. And I'm waiting for one day. Next day morning, I go to another application and see whether the data is reflected here or not. This data is coming from here. This admin system is getting data from the main database. But this data I updated in the different database, right? Emma, are you understanding or not? No, ma, it's very simple. Bro, you did some transaction here. Where is the data updated? You did some transaction. This data is updated in the database. But this data should be updated in the another database system.
Main
But
database.
this data will be updated in another database system. When it will update, usually they schedule this procedure to run in the late night, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now this data is visible to the another people, right? Now there is a different department people. When they see in this application is getting data from where?
Actual table.
From this
Main
system, right? From the second system.
Yes, sir.
But when we did transaction, where it is updated in the first system, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this application is updating data in the first system.
Table.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
First.
Okay, ma,
Yep.
let us take the same example what I'm explaining. This is a DMart, right? This data is updated in the local database system, right? Local database, daily transactions. Sir,
Okay.
I did a sales of one of the product. One of the product I did a sales. This is updated in the local database.
Okay.
But when this data will update in the main database? For today night.
Yeah.
But this data is visible to the main admin team.
Yes, sir.
But e application at the cashier counter, right? This system is used by the cashier counter, right? In the all the counters in the DMart store, right? All the sales people. When a customer come and buy the product, they will enter the entry, right? They will make an entry, right? And they generate a bill. Okay,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
this is the price of the product. They are generating bill. Customer read the payment. Now it is updated in the database system, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
But now this data will update in the main database at the late night.
Late night.
Okay.
Now this data is visible to the main corporate office people untaru kadamma. Each store, from every store will come and update here. Now these people generate some reports, right? Analysis. Oh, each store, how much business done, how many products they're selling, each product, what is happening, they can see, right?
Yes, sir.
But this UI application is also different. This UI application is also different, right?
Yes, sir.
It's not same application. This UI is different. This UI is different.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, inka best example, practically what you see. Net banking, what you use is different. The cashier, the banking, the software used by the cashier or manager in the bank is different, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
అలాగే కదా ఇప్పుడు the software which is used at the cashier counters in all the DMart is different. The software used in the corporate is different, right?
Yes, sir.
Because here they have a different functionalities altogether to do, right?
Yes,
Here
sir.
they have a different options to do altogether. This software is different, this software is different. But internally these two systems are connected, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
For example, sir, when a product purchase is done, this product is updated in the local database, but this is not updating in the main database. And these people are not able to see that. These people are these people saying that inventory showing that, earlier inventory was 100 quantities there, but inventory is showing only now 20 product sales has happened, but financial information we are not able to see.
Yes.
The
Yes,
revenue generated on the 20 product quantity, right? That financial information it is not showing. There is a mismatch in the system.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now they investigated where is the problem. Why only inventory details are updating only for this particular product, only for this product, only for this product. The price is not showing for the corporate people. The sales details are not showing. Only inventory details are updated. Earlier in the beginning, inventory was total stock was 100. Now stock was showing only 80. That means there are 20 quantity sales is done, right?
Yes, sir.
For these 20 quantities, financial information is not showing here. It is not reflecting here. That is a bug.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, after investigating, the developer fixed the bug. Okay, either some problem was there, they fixed it. Now, what I will do now? Now, in this store, I will do the sales of the same product, right? Here, through counter, through UI application, right? I have to update as if that one of the customer have purchased the product, right?
Yes, sir.
But that should be updated in the local database, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Understood or not?
Yes, sir. Understand.
Understood, right? Okay. Now, if it is a real business, what I have to do? I have to wait for today night, because this data will update in the main server. Now, tomorrow, what I will do? Tomorrow, I will log in into this application and I will see, oh, this product say quantity also now it became 79 and the financial details also it is showing or not, I will verify.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So when we
Yes,
are doing testing as a tester, when you are working in this type of software applications, both applications you have access. You have to do testing on two different applications. This application also you are testing. This application also you are testing, because both are related to same business.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Got it, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So usually when we are testing, ఇప్పుడు ఇట్లాంటి applications ఉన్నాయనుకోండి, but suppose there is one hospital management application is there. You are a tester working on hospital application means you have to test the, there is one application which is used by the reception, right, to take appointments.
Yes, sir.
There is one
Yeah.
application visible to the doctor, right?
Yes, sir.
There is one application visible to the pharma, what you call the lab technician.
Yes, sir.
Diagnosis, there is one application which is visible to the finance, right? All the 4 applications you have to take, your team have to test.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
okay.
Because you all are integrated, right? All this entire project you are taking means all modules you have to test. Appointment module you have to test, prescription writing module you have to test, lab diagnosis report application you have to test, finance application also you have to test.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, that's why we need more number of testers, right? Maybe 2 or 3 testers are working on this. One of the tester is working on this, but you are all coordinating. You are all coordinating and working on all the applications. Like that,
Yes,
in this case, you will be testing on both the applications.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
normal guy, what you do? Today I did the sales of one product. Oh, now I'm waiting for tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm logging into this application because I noted down. Yeah, these are all the sales done. Tomorrow I have to log in into this application. See, this is reflected here or not. What is this
Yeah.
type of testing? Black box testing, right? Emma, you are testing only through UI, right? You are not worried about what logic is there, what procedure is running internally.
Okay.
Do you know?
No.
No, you are testing only through UI, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But Ade, sir, I did something here. I went to the database. I manually executed a procedure. And I see that, the data reflected here. Now I am also connecting to this database system also. I wrote SQL query. Here also data is displaying. Now through this front end also I'm checking. That means what are you doing? You are doing combination, right? White box, black box. You are doing both, right?
Yes, sir.
You are also checking in the database here. You are also checking the database here. You are also checking in the front end here. You are doing combination, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So especially when you're doing procedures and triggers, we will also we will create some dummy things, right? As if we have done a real transaction, and we will verify, right? Procedure have executed or not, or trigger have executed or not. Like that we can check, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
ఇప్పుడు triggers ఉంటాయి. When the trigger will execute? If you remember yesterday, when the trigger will execute? Remember triggers ఎప్పుడు రన్ అవుతాయమ్మా?
When there is a transaction failed,
No,
then
ma'am.
it will happen.
No, trigger will execute automatically when we do insert a record or update a record or delete a record, right? Yesterday class lo నేర్చుకున్నాం కదా మా trigger will execute automatically when we do insert or update or delete a record in a table.
Yes, sir. Insert, update, delete
Yes, sir.
trigger.
Yes, sir.
ఈ
Yes.
మూడే కదమ్మా. Whenever you do insert a new record or update a record or delete a record, only for any of these 3 things, only trigger will execute, right, automatically.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So, so where did I write? Yesterday was day 5, right? ఇదే కదమ్మా day 5 notes, right? What we did yesterday. ఇక్కడ ఏం రాసామ్మా మనం?
Hello, Radu.
Okay, 1 minute. Where did we write? Trigger, right? Create a trigger name on table name for insert or update or delete, right? Yeah,
Yes,
so
sir.
triggers
Yes,
will
sir.
execute automatically. Yeah, trigger will, trigger is also a group of SQL statement like procedure, but trigger is automatically executed when insert or update or delete is done on a table, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so trigger we cannot schedule it or we cannot execute manually. Okay, so trigger will execute only, but even, okay, let me recollect once again. But I told you, but suppose when a new employee is added in, inserted in employee table, automatically department table also number of employees should increase by 1, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
But I gave one more example yesterday. But in a university like a college, sir, when a student have completed his course, okay, and he has given certificate, everything, maybe when that student record is deleted in the master database, all the related tables, like library database system or maybe lab report system or somewhere else, all the related systems, that student record should be deleted automatically.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So when we do something on one table, automatically something should happen on other tables, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
And if now through usual ga aithe normal ga where we insert a record in the UI kada.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
When we insert a new record in the UI, then I have to say trigger have executed automatically or not.
yes, sir.
But if you are not doing through UI, okay, if you are doing database testing, you can directly go to the database and insert one record, right? You can write one SQL query, insert into table name values like that, you insert a new record.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my SQL query రాయొచ్చు కదా, my DML statements, right? Insert, update, delete.
Yes,
Yeah, you
sir.
can insert one new record in the table. When you insert a new record, what should happen? When we insert a new record in a table, automated trigger should have executed.
Yes, sir.
Like that also you can check. But now what is that? You are doing black box or white box?
White box.
White box. You directly went to the database. You are writing insert into table name and you are writing SQL query, insert into table name values.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm saying. So when you are doing a triggers, so stubs or drivers are used to insert or update or delete a record. That will result in executing the trigger, right? Where the trigger is invoked. And now you verify, the data is reflected in the other tables or not. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Are they same? If you are doing through UI, it is called as a black box, right?
Yes, sir.
So especially when you are doing procedures and triggers, you have to manually directly go to the database and write something, right? You do some insert or update or delete or execute procedure. You have to do so that it is executed or not. Like that you have to check.
Okay.
Basically what I'm saying is you need to check the triggers and procedures. That's what I mean to say.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay, ma. Next, yeah, anyhow, these are all comes as part of schema, right? You will be validating, the, perform a front-end operations, which is access the database object conditions. Validate the results of that SQL query, right? That means whenever you insert a record through front-end, you try to insert a duplicate record. Yeah, if you insert a duplicate record, what should happen? The database should throw an error message, right? It should not accept because that is a primary key.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
the column which has a primary key should result in giving an error message, right?
yes,
Because
sir.
this bit cannot have a duplicate value.
Yes, sir.
So front end you insert, but as I told you, if there is one of the column has a foreign key map into some other column, foreign key column will accept only values which are available in the referred column, right?
Yes, sir.
You try to insert a value in the foreign key which is not available in the referred column, right?
Then it show errors.
Yeah,
Show
then
errors.
it should show an error message, right? Yeah,
Yes,
verify
sir.
all these type of things, right? Negative testing, right? Giving duplicate data. Okay, giving a values in a foreign key which are not available in the referred column. Like that, you try to do different negative type of testing also, and see whether it will give a proper error messages, right?
Yeah.
Like that you check.
This
So
is also
testing
done.
point of view, what are all you need to check now? Database testing means what is the checklist? So overall to conclude, what are all you need to do in database testing now? So whatever front end operations you do, right? Insert, update, delete. For all these transactions, the data is properly stored in the database tables, right? There is no loss of data.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next, when you do some transactions on a table, now, right, automatically there may be a trigger or there may be a procedure which is executed and reflecting the data in some other tables, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
See, these things also happening or not.
Okay.
Okay, next, when you're doing some transaction, if there is a failure in the middle, see that everything is rolled back.
Yeah.
Okay, next, if you do some transactions in a database, see that in